This week I'm in Argentina, and being an Englishman, believe you me, I've got to keep me nut down.
Danny's in the capital, Buenos Aires, 7,000 miles from home. And as far as football hooliganism is concerned, it really is a different world out here. Argentina is a country with a history of violence. In 1943, a military coup ousted the constitutional government. It was the start of 40 years of military rule, coup and counter-coup, violence and bloodshed. During the second half of the 20th century, military leaders used extreme measures against those seen to oppose the dictatorship. In the late 70s and early 80s, human rights groups estimate that over 30,000 people were disappeared. It is believed that they were arrested and secretly executed without trial. Violence is not uncommon in Argentinian society. And with football being one of the nation's greatest passions, the two elements became entwined to produce a culture of football violence. In the weeks leading up to Danny's arrival, Argentinian hooligans from various clubs had been dominating the headlines.
Racing club banned Boca Juniors' Barras Bravas from a match. But when a judge overturned that ban, the game was called off because they said they couldn't provide the necessary security.
Then there's Gimnasia's firm,
who threatened the team with death if they won.
And during the game between Newell's Old Boys and Rosario, there was almost tragedy. The two sets of fans began throwing stones at one another, and the police reacted by firing rubber bullets at the Newell's fans.
Just your average month for the Barras Bravas of Argentinian football.
And the game Danny's going to is one of the most volatile fixtures in the country. Now, what's the Spanish for bulletproof vest? This derby takes place in the district of Avellaneda. The two clubs, Independiente and Racing Club, are just 300 metres apart. It's Sunday afternoon and Danny's going to the game. And it's a fixture that has seen trouble galore. 6 years ago, more than 100 people were injured after Racing's firm, the Racing Stones, attacked Independiente during the game. And later that same year, a Racing fan was killed after being stabbed 17 times. Independiente's stadium, the Estadio Libertadores de America, is a far cry from the modern arenas of football today. It's a proper old-school ground with a rough and ready feel. Danny feels a bit like he's gone back in time. He arrives in the scorching hot midday sun to meet up with the head of their Barra Brava. This is Pablo Alvarez, or Bebote, which means big baby. He's the leader of the Independiente Barra Bravas, the Red Devils. Danny's meeting him inside the ground 4 hours before kickoff. This is very strange, meeting the top boy of the firm inside the ground. And the surrealness doesn't stop there. The first thing he does is make Danny help carry a load of bin bags.
Quite often here. What's happening here? Jesus Christ.
What on earth could be in them?
I think it's a bag full of machetes.
In fact, it's quite the opposite.
They're just all balloons.
They were balloons with a no to violence message on them, which the firm were going to be blowing up. To say things are strange would be an understatement. Danny's used to meeting hooligans in balaclavas. Bebote, however, has a child on his knee holding a no to violence balloon. Is this the sublime or the ridiculous?
Is there often a lot of violence at the game?
No, violencia hay en Argentina, no en el fútbol. Violencia hay en la sociedad. Que de ahí vaya a cada sector de parte como la cancha de fútbol, un baile, en todos lados hay violencia. trataremos de que no pase nada hoy acá, pero a la hora de defenderse todo el mundo se va a defender. Nosotros no somos de ir a buscar problemas a otro lado, sino nos defendemos y no vienen a buscar nada más. Defendernos, defendemos todos, tanto vos como yo. Cuando nos atacan, nos defendemos.
So, according to Bobote, the problems of violence at Argentinian football are a thing of the past.
Comunes son, comunes. Y hace muchos años que no hay violencia en el fútbol. Estamos más controlados ahora. Sí, así que no hay muchos incidentes.
Now, I can't help but get the sense that Pablo and his little firm, they're very cagey about it. They don't like to give too much away, which is a first for me because every club I've ever met, every firm, it's all bravado, it's all about the violence, it's about, you know, being dangerous, being naughty, you know, so for me it makes it a little bit more sinister, you know, it's a bit more, you know, he knows what he's about, he ain't got to tell me nothing, really. I don't blame him. Look at the old Bill, waiting around for something to happen, clearly.
Danny is about to enter the Poplar, the Red Devil's end behind the goal, a place where even the police won't go. Maybe there won't be any trouble. Maybe today will pass off without incident. Is it going to be heaven or hell? It's the craziest end Danny's ever been in. He's not sure if he's in a football ground or a nut house.
This is mad, crazy.
40,000 fans are crammed into the stadium.
Probably the noisiest I've ever heard. There's no booze here. You don't need it. It's a party atmosphere without the booze, man.
In fact, it's more like a rave. Danny is pumped full of adrenaline. It's quite unlike anything he's ever experienced. A mixture of excitement and trepidation.
There's me man, Pablo. It's just got mad now, absolutely insane. I think my head's gonna pop off. Fuck!
It feels lawless, like anything could happen. He's glad that he's close to Bobote, because in here, he is the law. Over at the other end of the ground, the racing end looks to be equally crazy. And there's still half an hour to go till the kickoff. It's so noisy, Danny doesn't even realise the game has started. But 7 minutes in, and the volume is about to be raised.
Well, they got a penalty there. It's going to erupt this, Gav, my life. Shit me pants.
The next minute or two is all a bit of a blur. It's so intense that Bobote cannot guarantee Danny and the crew's safety, so he leads them out of the Poplar and round to the other, safer side of the ground. Danny finally has a chance to get his breath back.
We've just had to get out of there. It's just gone too mad for us. I mean, for me, it's probably the most frightened I've ever been. But I can't believe, looking back on where I was just plotted, I'm popping my pants looking at it. For me, I was just in the middle of that. What's the matter with me?